Alright guys, so we're gunning right through this one. So, I played Dead Island 2. What are my thoughts on Dead Island 2? I have many thoughts. I have many things that are, well, I look at it and I say it's okay. Many things I look at and I say this is dog awful. So let me say this, right? If we're just gonna start it out before I get into everything. Is this game worth the money? And specifically, most importantly, is it worth your time? Did the developers create content that is worthy and value to your time? Again, is the content equal to the time that you're putting in? And the answer, of course, is no, not at all. Now, let's get into it. The graphics are beautiful. I played it on the Xbox Series X. This is one of the best looking games I've ever played. Seriously, I am amazed. It is almost lifelike in a very surreal, graphically enhanced kind of way. It's like the real world, but just simply beautiful, I guess. Well, you know, whatever that means. But seriously, the game looks great, the world looks great, the textures. I say this in so many games because you have a lot of new games now that do lazy current gen graphics. Current gen graphics look really good. But the problem is that it's because they have a great lighting engine. But what you will notice with a lot of games is that they will do lazy textures. A good example is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. It's an example of a game that is aping off good graphics, but you don't see a whole lot of good graphics. Really, it's just good lighting, and that's it. The textures are very lame, they're very lazy, and boring. You know, there's not a lot to look at. There's not a lot that is compelling my mind as I look at it, right? And that's one of the biggest issues for me when I make these statements, okay? Dead Island 2 does a great job with the textures. They look sleek, man. They look high fidelity. There's so much going on. It's not lazy with the textures. Everything looks beautiful. Gotta give them to that. The confluence between the lighting and the textures is everything that you would expect, okay, to make a synergy of great graphical detail. So the game does that, and you really got to give it to it. The next thing I have to mention is, well, the gore. The gore is really well done. It is disturbing and disgusting. Well, that is technically what gore is, and I guess that's technically what the Dead Island games were kind of about. Kinda. I don't really know. In some weird way, I don't really know if it was really ever about that, but I guess it's always been an element of zombies that there's gore, so okay, that's fine, right? I just personally, man, it is disturbing and it is horrific seeing the gore, but it is very high detail, the gore. You punch and you whack at bodies, living or dead, and it will destroy the body with every attack, right? It's kind of comical the way, like, you can just punch a body until parts of skin and flesh starts falling off, so it's kind of ridiculous in that way. But regardless of the fact, you know, you can see massive amounts of gore, you can see organs, you can keep splattering at his body, right, a zombie's body, and you can see every type of organ, I'm pretty sure every type, and yeah, you can see so much flesh, so much bone. It is disgusting, to say the least. It makes you it's very unnerving, especially as far as I'm concerned. It's like, what the F, geez, Louise. But you got to give it to them. They put a lot of work into the gore system of this game. I think it's probably one of the most fleshed out and developed gore systems in any game. It is so visceral, so surreal with the graphics. And I do also have to give it this, wow, yeah, no, you know what? Also on the zombies and the character models are also very high fidelity, high graphical value here. So you can see just so much going on the face, on the limbs, so that just brings up the disgust level with the gore. So you can see a lot of flesh, guts, and bits, and you can literally hit a zombie in the head and parts of their head is just, you know, cracked open or destroyed. Yeah, you know, that really makes me uncomfortable, but hey, that's what they did. And you can literally hit a zombie in such a way that they have like a hanging jaw, you know, so you can see some of the most glorified faces. I'm gonna tell you this right now, I don't like it. I don't, but you know, they put a lot of work into it. At the very least, they did a good job, right? There's something that they were trying to do, and they did a good job at doing that. I just personally don't like it. Maybe if it were in a different setting outside of zombies, I would be more into it. I don't like gore for gore's sake. That's just me. But what they did do was well done, right? They put a lot of work into it, and it was done competently. So you got to give them that. And then what else? The world looks beautiful. The levels look beautiful. I do like how there's a semi-puzzle element to the world and to the levels. You go through them, and there's certain components and pieces that you can open certain doors. Not all the time, but sometimes. There's there's doors that you can't open because you need a key card, so you find an open window, stuff like that. So it's, you know, like the levels are interesting. They're intricately designed. The mansions in this game look absolutely beautiful. They're great to go through and explore. I like that. I like just seeing all these different mansions and going through them. When I was playing the game, I only went through like, I think it was like 2 or 3 mansions. I don't know if there's more. I don't know if they only put the time into making only like 2 mansions or what, but that's just what I saw, and that's what I liked. That's what I was impressed with. The mansions looked beautiful, and they were what, a joy or something like. They were a splendor to explore, right? So got to give them that. The mansions are just well done, and I don't know if it's exactly difficult to make a great mansion, but I don't know if there's ever been a game where I've gone through a mansion that just looks really beautiful and I actually want to go through it and just check out every nook and cranny. They look beautiful, so give it to that. The world looks beautiful. The assets of the world design is great, well made. The environments look great for whatever the environment's supposed to be. The gore, the blood splatters all across the streets of California here in the game looks really good, and it makes you feel immersed, right? They do a great job of all the graphical detail, all the environmental detail. You feel like it really is Bel Air. You feel, well, I don't know what Bel Air really is, but you know, you feel like it really is where it is. Like, you feel like it is California. And so Bel Air, Beverly Hills, stuff like that. You really do feel like those locations exist in the game. So they did a really good job in all of those aspects. Got to give it to them. But this is the thing I'm going to be getting into here, and this is the thing I have to say. This game is basically a tech demo. This game is a tech demo. It looks great. It's beautiful. It's impressive, graphically impressive. But there's no gameplay here. There's no game to play here. And it gets boring, dude. I'm going to just tell you this right now. You're pretty much an hour into the game, and quickly it's going to get boring. And for me, it quickly got boring, if not immediately. But like, it really seeps in. It becomes intolerable an hour into the game. I cannot believe this is $70. Luckily, I didn't pay $70. But of course, I could have. I've spent $70 for other games, and I've been ripped off, right? And I'm glad I didn't spend $70 for this game. But regardless, like, this is not worth your money. This is not worth your time. There's no gameplay here. There's nothing really going on. You get a couple of different weapons. They're not really that fun, not really that interesting. No real interesting move sets, attack animations with each type of weapon. You can modify them, but modify them barely. Add certain elemental types, but that barely matters. There's a silly thing where if you attack a zombie that's immune to electricity, they literally don't take damage from a hammer that's dealing electrical damage. Well, what the heck is that about? The hammer is still hitting them. Okay, so he's immune to electricity. Make him immune to electricity. Somehow he's immune to the electrical hammer. So apparently the blunt trauma force doesn't mean anything? It's ridiculous, man. I can't believe they made the game like that. But okay, no, it's ridiculous, you know, but unacceptable. I don't know why they did that. It should have just been immune to electricity. So that's annoying. You have to switch to a different weapon that doesn't have electricity. It's stupid. So the weapons, they can break way too quick. I think the deeper you go into the game, that becomes less of an issue. But early in the game, your weapons that you're using are breaking constantly. If you find a couple, I think, like, for as far as I could get into the game, if you get green weapons, they'll have higher durability, and if you upgrade them, they'll have higher damage, so you can kill the zombies a little bit faster, just a little bit, and they'll last long enough that you won't break through them until you get to a weapon workbench, and then you can repair them. So for me, I was starting to go through multiple missions before I quit the game where I was able to use a weapon, nearly or barely even break it, and then I could repair it. So that was becoming an increasing less issue. But I don't know if later in the game it becomes an issue again. I have no idea, because it could happen. It happens in other games. So that's the whole thing, you know. The weapon variability, not very big here, right? You get hammers, you get plywood. It's not really that interesting. You get swords, you get brass knuckles, but again, it's just not really that interesting. So I didn't like it. Not fun, not compelling in any real way of the sense, especially for me. There needed to be a lot more experimentation with more interesting weapon types. I don't know, make a screwdriver a freaking weapon, something, man. I just make something more interesting with this game, because it's so boring. Then we look at the story. Let's just get into the story, because I think that's all I really want to say. You know, the combat, you can do drop kicks, you can get skills that are innate skills that don't really buff up much about your character. I just don't care. The progression system's not fun. It's not interesting. It's boring, man. And this is a huge issue with a lot of modern games. They look beautiful. They have ESG money, so they can polish their games up quite a bit. They have the money to afford to do so. But the problem is, and they also have the money to afford to hire as many freaking, technical artists, asset artists, whatever as they want. But the problem is that the game is boring. So many modern games are boring. Like, I was actually starting to break down as I was playing the game. I was like, holy crap, I can't stick through this. I'm getting so freaking bored. I don't care how good your game looks. If it's not a game, if there's no simulational gameplay, there's no challenge, and there's no rewarding progression system, which means a mixture of challenge, fun, and again, you have to have that reward cycle going on for the player. They have to overcome hurdles, and after overcoming those hurdles, they get something cool. We don't have that here. We don't have that in this game. And that is one of the major detractors of Dead Island 2. And that's one of the things that really upsets me about this game, is just, it doesn't have epic gaming moments, right? I want to have an epic gaming moment, man, in games. I want to see a waterfall, and there's other examples, more creative examples. I'm just using this as a basic example. And I want to go behind that waterfall, and I want to find a door. And there's a little random tunnel to the right of the door. And then there's an enemy, and the enemy has some special characteristic, and I kill the enemy, and I get a key card, and I open the door, and then inside, whatever is inside, right, behind the waterfall, inside that door, maybe it's a cellar or something, has another enemy that's another boss type enemy, and he drops a really insane cool weapon or something like that, right? Or unlocks an entire new RPG mechanic, right? Maybe I unlock a new follower or something like that. Give me cool gaming moments where I'm having an experience, I'm having a gameplay narrative, and I get something cool at the end of that road. You need to do that. That is a part of gameplay. That is a part of creating a video game that is fun to play. And again, I'm just giving you a basic example. There's better things to do. You can make puzzles. You can make level scaling kind of designs, right? Where I have to hop between ledges. You know, a great game that does this, and it's not perfect, but it does it suitably well for the amount of content thrown into the game. Elden Ring did this very well. There's just so many awesome gaming moments in Elden Ring. You're like, oh, cool. You know, I looked around that corner and I found this teleporter and brings me into this area, blah, blah, blah. All these things, right? You unlock all these random things and it's so cool. It's so fun. That's Elden Ring did a great job with epic gaming moments where you're just running around in a random area and suddenly there's a huge dragon. I think ancient dragon, what was his name, Forciex or whatever. He shows up out of nowhere and he starts attacking you, right? A lightning dragon. You start fighting the guy. Moments like those, and then there's so many of those moments in Elden Ring. It's so freaking good. Right? Running around, you find a freaking walking Stonehenge kind of turtle with a, what is it? A little dome palace or whatever sitting on top of it, right? It's a walking island. Moments like those, you just see these interesting out of the world things and it has a gameplay element behind it. That's not what we get here in a lot of modern games. You apply what I'm talking about right now, you apply this to so many other games, you don't get epic gaming moments anymore because you also don't have gameplay elements thrown into these games. This game is very bare bones. This is basically a tech demo turned into a $70 product. You are being scammed of both your money and most importantly, your time. Your time matters. There are better products to pick up than these crappy games. And I'm gonna be honest, just even pick up older games, even replay older games. And I'm getting to that point myself where I'm getting sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of modernity. I am sick and tired of all this woke, we haven't even gotten to this yet, but the wokeness in these games. I can't take it anymore. It's breaking me down. I'm sick of the egalitarianism. I'm sick of all this freaking bull crap. I cannot take it anymore. I'm sick and tired of the boring gameplay. I'm sick and tired of the demoralization of these games. I am sick and tired of in games, modern games made by these enlightened liberals that they keep on wanting to force down your throat nihilism. Get out of here with your stupid nihilism and stop acting like you're better than us. Stop acting like you know better than us. You are not wiser, you're not more intelligent, and you are the most depraved people of all. Get out of here. I'm sick and tired of being treated like a freaking child by adult children with jobs. Let's now broach into the story. I don't care about really talking about the story. We're nearly done with this review because I just cannot care past how long this review is going for. Okay? So the story, non-existent, annoying, some freaking celebrity chick, you're in a plane crash, you meet a celebrity chick who survived the plane crash, you go into her mansion, blah blah blah, you meet a couple of characters, diversity squad, has to be a black guy, has to be Hispanic, has to be all these other races of people, random Asian, random white chick, you know, it's just annoying bullcrap. I don't care about these characters, they're all annoying, they're not written as offensively as a lot of modern characters are written. It doesn't seem like blatantly that these characters are written by an adult child. Now, of course, there's multiple writers on these games, so I don't know which of those multiple writers who's writing for who, because there's certain parts of the writing that's more insufferable than other parts. It doesn't matter. Listen, woke characterizations, woke characters, I don't like them. I don't like the characters. There's these drunk losers that you meet later in the game. I don't like them. I don't like any of these characters. And again, it's a bunch of woke feminist bullcrap. You will see movie posters that have female leads on it for action movies that, right, are in-world movies, right? It's like one's like The Tomb of the Tiger Queen, another's some freaking dude rock chick who I guess does something with like witchcraft anomalies or whatever. And it's just like, listen, we all know what? We know that action films are led by men. It is a feminist concept to ever think that women are action leading heroes. No, all we want to see in an action film is a chick with a giant rack who's hot, sexy, and attractive, and she's just running around with the main hero. We need an excuse in a story to see a hot chick. It's not because she is strong, it's not because she is capable, it's just because we want to see a nice, monstrous rack of boobs. That's what we want to see. That's all we give a freaking crap about. We don't care about female leads, especially flat-chested, lesbian, butch haircut, gender studies, female leads. We don't give a crap about you. We don't like you. Get out of here. You're a boss babe and you're freaking annoying. Boss babe in air quotes. Screw you. So anyways, that's the feminism. There is blatant, subtle feminism that you will see as you're playing the game. Okay? There are random peace signs that have the gay rainbow on them. Okay, that is homosexual. No one likes it. No one wants your degeneracy. No one wants your depravity. No one signed up for this. Just give me a game and stop sneaking in your politics when I look at the world. Stop it. The other thing to mention is, again, The writing is terrible. For the sense of the story, there is no story here, is what I'm actually trying to say, okay? Writing is bad because there's no story. There's nothing going on. You go from point A to point B. Hi there, we need you to do something. Go to this random location. Nothing really happens at that location. Random things happen at that location. And basically, you go to that location, you do a thing, maybe you fight a boss, then you leave, then you go back to the person. Some new story plot element is progressing and you're like, how did we get here? Why do the characters care about? And you don't have a sense of where you are in the world. I don't even know what the frick the story's about because the story was just all over the place. It didn't mean anything is what I mean. It is amorphous, okay? It is annoying. So, I did not like the story. There was no story. It sucked. Outside of that, outside of the woke character casting, which is annoying, outside of the masculine women, I also have to make this point. Don't you love how we have these games that are not shying away from and not afraid of gore, not afraid of just destroying and mutilating bodies, human flesh, all that. But we, for some reason, just cannot get attractive women in games. I run around in these levels and I see obese women in bikinis. I am disgusted. I don't want to see that. Stop it. That's not normal. Normal people are thin and healthy, okay? It is this new normal, air quotes, bull crap, where we think that normal people, air quotes, are obese. They're not. Normal people are not obese. Those are people who are unhealthy. Those are people who are not being responsible of themselves, of their bodies. Those are people who are being morons with their health. They are not normal. They are gluttonous. As simple as that. Okay? Stop putting these fat people in games. No one wants to see them. And specifically, I want to see if I have to look at a female zombie, okay, in a bikini. I want to see a sexy female zombie, you know, before she's blown to smithereens by whatever freaking weapon I have, but whatever, don't care. I just want to see, I want every single excuse you can imagine for having an attractive female to look at, even in a game like this, right? Whatever. Anyways, point's been made. Screw this freaking crap. I'm sick of just everything being ugly, including the zombies. Just do everything in your power. Make the main character sexy. Oh, okay, you know what? Made that point. Let's just get into this. Listen, the only attractive character, like in any game nowadays, in this game is what? The guy. There is one male character that is honestly attractive, and they make a huge point about him being attractive. Like, he's synonymous with a male stripper. His name is, I think, Ryan, or whatever his freaking name is. I played as the guy. And he's the only white guy you can pick to play in the game. Okay, well, he's the only attractive character. The rest of the women look like butch lesbians. They all look like masculine women. Hey, here's the thing. When I look at a female, I don't want to look at a freaking dude. I want to see effeminate qualities, features, traits, slim jawline, huge, monstrous boobs is what I want to freaking see. I'm sick and tired of this freaking crap. I'm sick and tired of flat-chested women. I am disgusted. This uglification of everything is demoralizing and they want you to be demoralized. I hate this freaking bull crap. I hate these women who have all these tattoos. I hate all these women that have these masculine haircuts. I hate it that we give these women all these masculine personalities, masculine archetypes. They're competent in all these ways that you know men to be competent, not women. These are just lesser men. These female characters are lesser men. They are not women. We do not get women in games anymore. They will not write women in games anymore. What is a woman? Not a man. You don't give a woman any equivocation to a man, any synonymous character traits to a man. You give her a nice smoking hot body, a beautiful face, and that's it. End of the freaking story. I'm so sick and tired of ugly women in games. It is disgusting. But that's what you get. We have the selection of what it is. I think it's 3 women and 3 dudes. 1 black guy, 1 Hispanic guy, 1 Hispanic woman, 1 disgusting trailer park trash, white female, and then you get, who's the other chick? Oh yeah, and then you get an Asian chick who, again, the women are all disgusting, all of them. The Hispanic chick right? They have to make a big deal, by the way, that they have 2 Hispanic characters in the game. I don't give 2 freaking craps. You're annoying me, all right? By the way, they live in America. Make them speak English. But outside of that, the women are just freaking annoying. And the Hispanic chick looks like a freaking dude. Honestly, looks like a freaking dude. It is disgusting. Why? I mean, all of them are like 2 steps away from looking like men, pretty much, all the women. And it's just like everyone's a loser. The only person that honestly isn't a loser is, I mean, okay, and I'm not even going to get into it because like I don't want to do a freaking crazy breakdown of all the characters. But like for the large part, the person that doesn't look like a loser, because the way that they all behave is different from each other, but the only one that doesn't look like a postmodernist weirdo loser, right? Some kind of new age, autistic looking Zoomer, millennial, whatever. The only person is the white guy. In some ways, that's kind of surprising, but yeah, when you consider other games, other movies, television shows. But I guess in some ways, maybe it's not completely that confusing. I don't know. It depends on the lens that you're looking at it through. I don't give a freaking crap. Anyways, the point of what I'm making is the only normal person is the white guy. I cannot stand this. The only attractive person is the white guy. What the frick? Okay, again, I want to see sexy females. I might even make a video at this point of just going through an exhaustive list of all the women we used to get in gaming. Because I'm telling you this right now, we used to get troves of sexy, attractive women. It was game after game after game after game. Even the random games that no one remembers anymore, they had sexy, attractive women. Like, it's not even like that's really a point to really be made. I'm just saying that every single game that you can imagine, whether it was high budget, low budget, middle budget, doesn't matter, hot women, sexy women everywhere, it was amazing. I loved seeing these chicks with amazing boobs, amazing bodies, and pretty faces. Okay, we don't get that anymore. We don't. And it's horrendous what we get nowadays in gaming. So I think that's it. That's pretty much everything that I experienced with this game. I could only play this game for like, what, 5 hours? I got bored after the first hour. I just wanted to end it all. I was like, holy crap. I was having, what do you call it, man? It's so weird, but it's like a weird onset kind of like anxiety. I was getting anxious in some weird way playing the game because I was getting so angry about how crappy the game was and how crappy modern games are and how every game I pick up now is woke dog crap, horse water dog crap. I'm so sick and tired of it. I'm tired of the wokeification. I'm tired of the ugliness. I'm tired of the nihilism. I'm tired of nihilism in our modern products. And that's a whole other thing. I've addressed it in past reviews and videos, whatever. But I'm sick and tired of the nihilism. It is in everything. And a part of nihilism is just embracing the futility of life and the, what is it? I guess the absolutism of death. In these games, the glorification of everything, how lifeless the characters are, how helpless the world is around you. It's all constant nihilism. I can't take it anymore, man. We killed off Superman, Batman, any other kind of aspirational character you can imagine. Final Fantasy games now are going down a freaking dumpster fire. Freaking Final Fantasy 16 had a huge nihilistic element to itself. It's not like your usual Final Fantasy. I loved Final Fantasy 15. I love Final Fantasy 7 remake, what they're doing with that game right now. I love a lot of Final Fantasy games, even though there's ups and downs, and some of them are more, you could argue, more nihilistic than others. But yeah, anyways, that's a whole other comment. I don't give a crap, right? I made the examples of the Final Fantasy games I really love, I really like, but we don't have aspirational characters anymore, inspirational characters. We don't have a character that's going like on a great heroic journey like Odysseus, right? Read the Odyssey. What's great about that story is that it's a man returning home. There's no nihilistic element. It's just aspirational. It is heroic. It is honorable. Of the character. The character's noble. He's pursuing a noble kind of reunion, and just a simple reunion of himself with his family, but that's noble in of itself. We don't have this anymore in stories. And, Witcher, even The Witcher was noble in many ways, right? It's an end of the world story, but the characters aren't giving up. They all have their different perspectives, but they're all trying to, in some way, take control of where the world that they are placed within, right? They're trying to do something about it, and they're trying to negate the kind of oncoming catastrophe, the doomsday scenario that is upon themselves. I have my criticisms of The Witcher, right? There's slight feminism, but not overt feminism, whatever. But the point is that there's so many stories that used to not be, most stories were not this nihilistic, modernist horse crap. And now this is what we get. A lot of great stories have always, they didn't have all this nihilism. And guess what? They weren't made by these leftards, okay? These leftards are obsessed with nihilism. They have no God. Their God is materialism. And materialism is fleeting. And ultimately, by the way, does not mean that there's something wrong with materialism in and of itself, but that's a whole other conversation. Their version of materialism is all that is fleeting. They have no sense of spiritual materialism, whatever, that whole thing. Again, okay, let's not get into that topic. I need to keep this on track. Listen, I'm tired of the nihilism. I'm tired of how these leftards, they think they're the only ones that should be allowed to make games and products, creative products. They are the ones who are monstrifying our culture. They're the ones who are debasing everything. They are the ones who are deconstructing everything, demoralizing all the coming viewers, audiences. They're the ones taking the characters that we love, that we know, and destroying them and replacing them with these horrendous, degenerate characters, subverting characters. Oh, you remember that white guy character? He's a black guy now. Oh, you remember that one random character that's also white? Okay, that's a different race now, right? Let's throw it in. Just make it, I don't know, put it through a freaking randomizer. Oh, Asian today, Hispanic the next day, Muslim the next. Stop it. They're trying to do everything in their power to kill American culture, which stems from a white civilization culture. They're doing everything in their power to destroy our characters, destroy our stories, demoralize us, and you're seeing this through games like these. It's woke for all the reasons that I've given previously, but I'm sick and tired of seeing this happening at wide scale across the entire gaming industry, and the fact that we just can't have good stories, good games, anything anymore, and that everything that we used to love, that used to exist, which was largely white, now all that is being taken from us. And every little element of what characterized things that we love can be no more. There can be no spiritual element, right? There is no essence of God. There is no presence of God, because we have to be these atheistic, nihilistic moralists who freak out and over-exaggerate our emotions into everything. We have to be losers. We have to accept loserdom. We have to accept degeneracy, right? Think of the freaking Rainbow Brigade and those freaking weirdos. We have to completely open up the doors for all the people that want to destroy everything that is good, sacred, and stable within present society. We have to do everything that we can to deconstruct reality and normality and live within the most degenerative sense of a fantasy world, because no one wants to live in reality anymore. Everyone wants to live within their degenerate fantasies. This game is a great element of that in its own ways. I don't care how pretty you make your propaganda. I don't care how exactly beautiful or eye-catching you make your indoctrination. I don't care. I don't want your demoralization. This is a waste of time. And effectively, I have now spent more time on this review than really what this game was ever even worth. It's worth it talking about these things, but for love of God, avoid ever picking up a game like this. Pick up older games.